Hello everybody, and welcome back to more of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dynasty series character profiles. This one should come to as no surprise to any of you. Of course, the guy who made the goddamn tournament, the guy who made the goddamn card game is gonna be in the goddamn series. It is Maximillion Pegasus. How could I not include him? He is literally one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite villains when he was a villain, and when he wasn't a villain, I still liked him because he's a fun guy to be around, and he likes cartoons and I like cartoons, so it's perfect. Getting into Maximillion Pegasus, he was one of the biggest cheaters of Duelist Kingdom. He literally could see his opponent's hands. That's 100% like, you're cheating, bro. It's not fun. That's just boring. The fact that you did that, you insult me. Alright, to move on, we're going to get onto his ace monster, one of the strongest cards in the game, the Thousand Eyes Restrict. This card redefined Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while because it broke the game. This card has one of the longest effects, or at least it had one of the longest effects for a long time, and honestly, it's too confusing for even me to figure it out. I could read it to you right now and I'm still going to be confused. So I'm going to give you the freaking Cliff Notes version. Basically, once per turn, you can eat one of your opponent's monsters and turn them into an equip spell. So you eat your opponent's monster, they become an equip spell, and you gain that opponent's monster's attack and defense stats. So your attack goes from 0 to an actual attack and defense stat. Not bad. And then you can just attack. But as long as Thousand Eyes Restrict is on the field, it's the only monster that can attack. None of your other monsters can attack, and your opponent cannot attack you. I don't even think they're allowed to change battle positions. It's weird. It's weird. Thousand Eyes Restrict literally restricts people from playing the game. Now, it is actually a very hard monster to summon because it is a special monster. This guy requires a ritual monster and a normal monster to fuse together to make it. This is one of the first, and no, this is the first ever fusion monster that needed a different type of special monster, which in this case would be ritual, to fuse together with a normal monster in order to summon itself. It was one of the coolest things ever. It's like watching Relinquished evolve. Speaking of which, let's get into Pegasus's rare cards. And of course, Relinquished is gonna be in the rare card section along with Toon World. So, the reason Relinquished is so amazing, and this was honestly on the cover of his starter deck, I should know, I freaking owned it, and I still own it to this day. It has the same effect as Thousand Eyes Restrict, where it eats the opponent's monster, but it gains its own effect where any battle damage you take, your opponent also takes the same amount. So if you take 1500 because they attacked you and you took 1500 damage while you had a different monster equipped, this only works when you have a monster equipped, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong, then they have to take the 1500 damage as well. Plus, if it has a monster equipped that it ate from your opponent, if they attack, it destroys the monster equipped rather than destroying Relinquished, which means on your next turn, you could just eat the monster that tried to kill you. It's actually really busted in Duelist Kingdom, but it's going to be really hard to bring it out for him. His other rare card, Toon World, literally is unbelievably rare in the show because no one else had Toon cards. It was an unreleased series of cards because they were deemed too broken. And by the show's effects, yes, they were too broken. Of course, this is only by the show's effects, not by the actual card game's effects. The actual card game's effects, they're alright. They're not great. I guess if there was still only 2,000 life points, they'd be amazing, but they're not great. So, looking into that, let's go ahead and see. Other than that, he doesn't really have any other crazy rare cards that we need to talk about. His monsters are going to be pretty interesting at best, so let's get into his stats. Pegasus's attack stat is almost perfect. This man's attack stat is godlike. Why is it godlike? His monsters average over the best of best stats. But there's a catch. He's going to need Toon World for most of them. Okay, that's something you're going to have to get used to me saying. There's a catch. So, the monsters that I'm talking about are his Blue Eyes Toon Dragon and his Toon Summon Skull. He has two of the greatest monsters in this tournament in Toon form, but both of them require Toon World to be on the field to use. His strong cards that don't require Toon World would be his Bickery Box, one of my favorite cards. Now, since you can't just normal summon Bickery Box, he does have the Dream Clown and the Crass Clown, which are, again, some of my favorite cards. Dream Clown would be my ace monster if I was a character, which apparently to some people at home I am a character, so that makes him pretty special. Also, this technically, look, Duelist Kingdom, Season 1, if we read all the mangas and we watch the movies, he did have these cards. I know it's not technically Duelist Kingdom, but the movie is as early as we can get. He has Toon Gemini Elf. If I'm giving Yugi Gemini Elf, I'm giving him Toon Gemini Elf, which does not require Toon World to be summoned and does not require Toon World to attack. But, you know, if you want to attack directly, it does require it. So that is why his attack stat is godlike. He has a 1900 beater. He has a 3000 beater. He has a 2500 1 tribute beater. All the same reasons for Kaiba and them. The only reason he's not perfect attack stat is because he only has one copy of Blue Eyes Toon Dragon and one copy of Toon Summon Skull. He has multiple of Toon Gemini Elf, but not that many, so it's not too crazy. And obviously, they all require Toon World, so I can't give him perfect attack stat. And, you know, I guess Thousand Eyes Restrict and Relinquished can be whatever the opponent is, so that's also why it's almost perfect. Kaiba will always be the guy who had the perfect attack stat because he has Blue Eyes Ultimate, the strongest card in the tournament. So, moving on to the defense stat. His defense stat is actually, I would say, just a little above average. And the reason I gotta do that is because he actually has some good tank monsters. Like the Dragon Piper, and I mean, not gonna give him any bad credit. The Illusionist Faceless Mage has 2200 defense, so his one tribute monster, Illusionist Faceless Mage, at 2200, Dragon Piper at 1800. His Ruiran or Manga Ruiran, we'll just say manga for now. His Manga Ruiran at 2600 defense for a 2 tribute monster is freaking amazing. His basic monsters, Toon Alligators at 16, Dark Rabbits at 15, Red Archery Girls at 15, Toon Mermaids at 15 defense. So he hits the average, and then some of his cards go way above average, like Dragon Piper and the ones I already mentioned. So that's why his defense stat is above average. Now we're going to move on to the speed stat, and this is the stat that I'm sorry. The way I categorize speed in this series was always about searching and special summoning and ability to end duel quickly, and his is a freaking anomaly. I don't know what to tell you. He's either the slowest motherfucker I've ever seen or the fastest motherfucker I've ever seen. And I don't know which one to go with, so I put both of them on the screen. If you could see, his speed stat is both. He is both the slowest and the fastest guy in the world, and it all relies on whether or not he gets Toon World. If he gets Toon World, 50% of his monsters are special summons, so he could summon his whole hand in one turn. Not even joking. He would be the fastest. Him and my Valentine is looking at him being like, damn, you're fast, because those special summons are clutch. However, if he does not have Toon World, he bricked. Half the monsters in his deck can't even be summoned. He just has to sit there and wait. Luckily, he has Dream Clown and Crass Clown, so and he has Dragon Piper, Jigen, Bakudan, whatever. He has Red Archery Girl, Dark Rabbit, Toon Alligator. He has other cards he could summon that are not tribute monsters, that are not monsters that require Toon World, but they are far and few between. Plus, he runs ritual monsters and polymerization, so that means that's going to slow down his deck a lot. But at the same time, he has monsters that special summon like, I don't know, okay? I don't know what to say. Pegasus is either the fastest mofo around or the slowest guy in the world. I'm going to go with both. That is my answer to the question. I could not figure out a real answer. But you know what I could figure out? The answer to the next question. His brick stat. He is the brick master. That is right. The character that bricks more than Bandit Keith is gonna be Maximillion Pegasus. Because if you do not draw Toon World, you do not have access to half of your deck. There is no person in this series with a bigger brick potential than freaking Pegasus. And if you go up against an opponent that despells your Toon World or Harpy Feather Dusters your Toon World, which is then you're screwed. Okay? He can't use half his deck if he doesn't get Toon World. That's crazy, isn't it? I'm saying it out loud and I'm going crazy. On top of that, he runs a ritual monster which is brick because he has no search potential for it. Literally no search potential. He has to get the spell card and the monster naturally. Granted, it does not require many. It only requires 1 tribute of any monster since it's only 1 star. That's its saving grace. But you still have to get 2 specific cards in your hand. If you only draw 1, you bricked. If you draw a Toon monster without Toon World, you bricked. If you draw a lot of his tribute monsters, he's got Manga Ruiran, Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, Summon Skull, Parrot Dragon, Illusions Faceless Mate. He's got too many tribute monsters. This guy's the brick master. There's no one that's going to brick more than him in the tournament. And because of that, we're going to get to Pegasus's potential of winning this tournament. I'm going to give him a whopping half a star. That is correct. I honest to God believe Weevil Underwood or Taya Gardner have a better chance of winning this tournament than the person that gets Pegasus. Because the person that gets Pegasus is going to brick super often. They have to have the luck of the Irish if they want to get out of this situation. Pegasus will be one of the most interesting people to watch, because we are going to be like, did he get Toon World? Is this going to be interesting? Did he get Relinquished? Did he get Thousand Eyes Restrict? Did he get Bickery Bucks? Is he going to have a chance to win the duel? The answer is most likely no, but if he does, then hooray, he did it, everyone. If hooray, then he did it. Because, like, literally, I can't give him anything. It's like, but Cooper, his attack stat's amazing. Yes, his cards are amazing. He can't summon it without Toon World. No Blue Eyes without Toon World. No Summon Skull without Toon World. I don't care if they're special summons. They mean nothing if you don't have Toon World. And you gotta pay 1,000 life points just to use Toon World. Are you kidding me? Sorry, I know. I went a little off there. Pegasus, the man who created card games, the man with the strongest deck in the anime, he beat Kaiba in Duelist Kingdom in the anime. And I gave Kaiba the highest rating in this tournament. I'm going to give Pegasus the lowest rating in this tournament. With one last thing to say. I have now shown off 11 characters for the tournament. There is only 1 character left. 1 deck profile left I need to go through. And then we're done. You guys are all cut up and you know all the characters that will be appearing. And we'll be seeing them tomorrow. Thank you all for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.